A lot of people love talking about discipline. They post quotes about self-control, mental toughness, and personal growth. They speak confidently about mindset, standards, and becoming a better person. But when you look a little closer, many of them are not even doing the most basic thing. They do not train. And honestly, that tells you a lot. Because if you cannot even make yourself move your body on a regular basis, what exactly are all those words worth? If you are constantly talking about discipline but cannot commit to a simple training routine, then maybe you don't understand discipline at all. Maybe you just like the sound of it. That may sound harsh, but I think it is fair. Training is one of the clearest tests of character in everyday life. It is simple, but not easy. You show up or you don't. You do the work or you make excuses. There's not much room to hide. That's why my gut feeling is that people who never train often end up with a very distorted idea of discipline. They imagine it as a dramatic mental state. They think discipline is about feeling serious, saying the right things, or waiting for some perfect moment of change. But if you really think things through, that idea falls apart fast. Discipline is not a mood. It is not a speech. It is not a personality aesthetic. It is repeated action. It is keeping promises to yourself when no one is watching. And training forces you to face that reality in a way that theory alone never can. At first, the gym can feel emotional. A good session can lift your mood. A motivational video can have you feel ready to change your whole life. A new goal can make everything feel exciting for a while. But that phase does not last. Sooner or later, training becomes less emotional and more honest. You either build a standard or you drift. You either train because it is part of your life, or you keep negotiating with yourself every week. Once you get a few months of real training under your belt, you start seeing people differently. You notice how many people talk big but live soft. You notice how often people give advice they have never applied to their own lives. They talk about resilience but fold under inconvenience. They talk about growth but cannot stay consistent with anything uncomfortable. And yes, a lot of what they say sounds fishy. Not always because they are lying, but because their words are devoid of proof. Their opinions are lacking in weight. They want credit for a mindset they have never earned through action. As far as I am concerned, if you do not even train, you are missing one of the most basic forms of self-respect. That does not mean everyone needs to be a bodybuilder. It does not mean everyone needs a perfect physique. But you should be doing something. You should be testing yourself physically. You should know what effort, repetition, discomfort, and consistency actually feel like. Otherwise, what are you really talking about? People who train seriously understand something that others happen to avoid. Discipline is not exciting most of the time. It is quiet, it is repetitive, it is often boring. But that is exactly why it matters. It proves that you can act without needing constant emotion, praise, or novelty. So yes, I judge this a little. If someone speaks endlessly about discipline, but does not even train, I have a hard time taking them seriously. Because in my view, the body is one of the first places where discipline should show up. If it shows up nowhere, then maybe it was never really there. And that is the difference between people who perform seriousness and people who live it.